Hello everyone, welcome back to Blockman editor tutorial. In these videos, we will give you a complete introduction to the Blockman editor. In this video, we will introduce the common action nodes that are related to blocks. Alright, let's get started. Go to the editor. In the Voxel Grassland project, click on a block in the scene. Open the trigger edit interface for this block, and create a when the block is touched trigger node. Open the action node list and select the block. Here we can see the action nodes related to the block. Now, we will introduce you to a few commonly used block nodes. Please try out the other block nodes in your own time. The first node is create block, which has the effect of creating a block at the specified coordinate. The second node is remove block. The effect of this node is to remove the block at the specified coordinate. These two nodes are usually used in combination. For example, we can remove the block B when we step on the block A, and rest on the block B after leaving the surface of the block A. The third node is create random blocks without repetition in the region. The effect of this node is to generate multiple random blocks in the specified region, and these blocks are not generated repeatedly in the same position. For example, we can use this node to generate tall grass blocks on a blank map when the game first starts. The fourth node is fill region blocks. The effect of this node is to fill the specified area with the blocks of our choice. For example, we can use this node to generate a stone bridge over the water when we are close to the water surface. The fifth node is remove region blocks, which has the effect of removing a certain type of block from our selected region. For example, we can remove all the sand blocks in the region when we touch the sand, while the other blocks are not affected. The sixth node is add blocks to entity, which has the effect of adding a certain type of block to the entity's backpack. For example, we can click on the wheat block, and add the clicked wheat to the entity's backpack by using this node. Let's take a look at what we want to achieve with the examples. The first example's effect is that, when we step on an ice block, it will melt the ice block into a water block. The second example's effect is that, when we approach the region in front of the cave, the bedrock block in front of the cave will disappear, and when we leave the region, the bedrock block will reappear. Let's start working on the first example. Open the prepared block map and click on the ice block to open the trigger edit interface. Click on the new button to create a new when the block is stepped on trigger node. The logic we want to implement is to turn the ice block into a water block, which needs to be divided into two logics. One of the logic is to remove the existing ice blocks, and the other logic is to add the new water blocks. First, let's set up the logic for removing the ice block. The first step is to drag the execution port, and select the remove block node from the block list of action nodes. The second step is to connect the map parameter to the map where the block is located in the current trigger parameters. The third step is to connect the block parameter to the coordinates of the block that is stepped on, in the current trigger parameters. Then let's set up the logic for adding the water blocks. The first step is to click the add button to add a new action node. The second step is to drag the execution port, and select the create block node in the block list of action nodes. The third step is to connect the map parameter to the map where the block is located in the current trigger parameters. The fourth step is to connect the block parameter to the coordinates of the block that is stepped on, in the current trigger parameters. The fifth step is to set the block parameter to select the water 2 block in the list. This completes the logic for melting the ice block into a water block, when it is stepped on. Now let's run the game and see the results. As you can see, when the entity walks on the ice block, the ice melts and turns into a water block. Next, let's move on to the second example. Click the New Region button in the lower right corner of the Game Resources view, to create a region and place it in front of the cave. The example's effect is to have the player remove bedrock blocks, when they enter the region, and respawn the bedrock blocks, when they leave the region, which is done with two trigger nodes. Open the trigger edit interface of region, and create when the entity enters the region node, and when the entity leaves the region node. We start by making the logic for entering the area, which removes the bedrock blocks. The first step is to drag the execution port in the when the entity enters the region node, and select the remove region blocks node in the block list of action nodes. The second step is to click the add button in the block group parameter, and select the bedrock block option in the list. The third step is to connect the map parameter to obtain map by name and map, and set the map to map 001. The fourth step is to set the region parameter to the coordinates of the bedrock blocks. Then let's set up the logic for generating the bedrock blocks when leaving the region. For the first step, drag the execution port in the when the entity leaves the region node, and select the fill region blocks node in the blocks list of action nodes. The second step is to set the block parameter to the bedrock block option in the list. The third step is to connect the map parameter to obtain map by name and map, and set the map to map 001. The fourth step is to set the region parameter to the coordinates of the bedrock blocks. This completes the logic of removing the bedrock blocks in front of the cave. Now let's run the game and see the results. The bedrock blocks in front of the cave are removed when the entity walks to the region location. When the entity leaves the region, the bedrock blocks in front of the cave respawn. That's all for this video. We hope it can help you on your way to a great creator. If you want to know more about the editor, you can comment below the video or post on the official forum. See you in the next video.